What up, everybody? I was at a vape expo a couple weeks ago and I picked up some neat, authentic new stuff. But one of the RDAs I got was cheap. And I didn't think that I'd be all that into it, but I got it because it wasn't expensive and it looked a little bit unique. It's this one, the Hastur RDA. It turns out that this thing actually works pretty well. It's a cool RDA. I like it. It hits well, it's small, and so I want to just do a quick overview of what it is because I don't think that many people are talking about it yet. Phenomenal flavor. It tastes great. I mean, it has a decent airflow. It's tiny, so that's it on a simple. I'll show you it next to. Let's see. Here's a tugboat, standard 22 millimeter atomizer. And that's the Hastur next to it. So it's almost like a slam cap. I actually got a tugboat with a slam cap. Where is it? Here's a tugboat with a slam cap. And this is the Hastur, which I guess is a little bit bigger than the slam cap. If I had a drip tip on the tugboat though, it would extend farther out than the drip tip that comes with this Hastur. Comes with a wide bore drip tip. The airflow comes in through the top, but it really is channeled down and through the sides. I'll show you in the close-up. The build I have in it is right now, that's 22 gauge. I'll take the wick out so that you guys can see a little bit more clearly. So that's the deck. It's got a positive post block. The negative posts don't move. I wrapped it with some 22 gauge Kanthal. So the RDA comes in a box like this. It's basically just a simple box. This is a cheap RDA. I picked it up at this expo for 15 quid, which is clone price, but this is an authentic from Cthulhu Mod. It comes with some extra O-rings, hex screws, and there is an adapter in here for 510 style drip tip, which I have never used and I don't plan on using, so I cannot comment on how that works. The deck of the RDA is pretty short deck, although the juice well is decent size for something this small. It's got a positive post block. The negative posts look like they're milled into the deck. I don't think they move at all. The post holes are not huge. It's not like a Dark Horse or a Velocity or anything like that, but this is 22 gauge Kanthal that I have in there, and I was able to fit that in without issue. I just put it in the same way I normally put in my coils. It might have been like a little bit trickier just to initially get through the hole, but then I just pulled it through with my pliers and it had no issue. So it works well. This inner piece goes down in front of the coils, so I just kind of put it on like that. It's real easy, like once it's on here, to move either way. So I just put it and make sure that I can see my coils in the center of each of those side airflows. So the air really is coming in at the side of the coil, but it's channeled down through these slits here before it goes. I guess the idea of it is it's supposed to create some kind of vortex, similar to something like a mutation. This seems like it might work better than a mutation for the vortex. I don't know if it works or not, but I get good flavor from it. The top cap has this Delrin wide bore tip if you don't use the 510 adapter, and that has kind of a spiral on the inside of it. I don't know if that spiral helps at all. If anything, it might get juice caught in the spiral grooves, but I haven't had too much issue with it. It's got double O-rings and it sits in there like super snug. Like it's not moving, gonna go anywhere unless I forcefully like grab it and kind of twist it out. But it doesn't. It wants to stay in there all the time. So it's a good secure tip. It looks cool. This piece slides down on top of the other outer shell. And what's unique is that I can turn this without disturbing that inner barrel, which I've already lined up for my coils. That won't move at all. But I can move this either direction and easily adjust my airflow. The 510 pin does stick out past the threading on the 510 connection. So you can use this on a hybrid mod. The pin is not adjustable, although I don't see any need to adjust it. Basically, this is the same way I wick all my RDAs. So all I do is I cut off strips for my 2 coils. 1, 2. All right, and then to make it easier for me, I will create a taper by just clipping the ends of those strips at kind of a slant. And then I only twist the very end because I don't want the whole thing twisted. I want a fluffy cotton going through. So I twist the end and I stick the part that I twisted through the coil. Like that, and I just pull through. That one is done. I mean, I need to cut it, but stick it through, pull it through. There. That's my what I do. And then I don't want, there's not, a huge amount of room. I centered my coils. What I don't want is just cotton stuffed anywhere. So I'm gonna clip this like pretty close to the edge of the deck. Same thing with the other side. Like that. And then maybe I'll like pull it just to even it out. Make sure that it's good on either side. Good. And now I need to stick the cotton down into the well. I use my coil tweezers for this, but since I have this screwdriver right here, I'll just use that. So I'm just kind of going down. There, it's in there. Close. I need something a little bit more thinner, like these tweezers here. All right, so I got. But really, I want to kind of create a gap underneath the coil, because these are 22 gauge coils wrapped at a pretty low resistance, and it gets hot, and so I want to have the ability for air not only to hit the coil directly on, but there needs to be airflow underneath the coil as well. So I kind of make sure that there's a gap underneath the coils and the wick is on either side touching the deck. And that's it. I can put this back on to my simple mod. I can put this center cap on, or this inner cap, inner barrel, whatever you want to call it. I make sure that can you see that? Yeah, you can see my coil is right there, smack in the middle of the opening on either side. So I'll take the juice, I'll wet the wick. This RDA, I notice, you can't just dump juice on it. If there's too much juice, you'll start pulling it up through the drip tip. So you want to just get your wick saturated, but don't leave like puddles of juice in there. And let's do a test fire. All right. I'm going to put this top piece on. Now, you notice what I was talking about with the airflow. See, that's closing it off, closed. There's an option for single coil. I haven't used that, but I can adjust the airflow either direction, and it's not moving that inner piece that I have lined up with my coils. The inner piece is still perfectly aligned. Basically, when I re-drip this, since the wide bore cap is big enough that you can see down there, it's not like a Samurai Bonsai where it's got like a neat splash guard and room for a drip tip. It just has a big opening, but it's not like chuff size massive, but it's definitely bigger than 510. If I wanted to re-drip it, I would kind of like do a double squirt on each, because I can see the center post block. On each side of the center post block, I give a little squirt. So I know that's hitting my coils. I don't want it to sit like right up on my center post, because it will if you drip it right down the center, because that way you might suck up juice. So if that did happen and I noticed there was juice on the center post, I just kind of shake it like that to move it in either direction. So that's it. That's the Hastur RDA by Cthulhu Mod. It's nice. It's small. Because of the airflow design coming from the top, it doesn't really leak. If you're careful and you don't over drip it, you don't suck up juice when you're vaping it, and it just works. I mean, it's 15. I paid 15 pounds sterling, 15 quid, which doesn't mean that it's $25 in the United States. It's probably, you could get it on sale for $15. So that's a cheap mod. That's like clone price, but I think this is a unique atomizer. I haven't seen anything else around that's quite like it. All right. That's the Hastur RDA. I think it works great. I haven't had issues with it leaking. I mean, occasionally, I guess one con is that occasionally you might get some liquid that collects on the inner, you might get like a trace amounts of liquid like on the side here, but it's nothing like if you had like a freak show or a magma or something with bottom airflow and you got like juice that just leaks out. That, I mean, it's not like that. It's pretty leak resistant. It's got the top airflow, so I mean, I can hold it any which way. I mean, I guess I can't hold it upside down, but I mean, I can hold it sideways, put it in my pocket. I don't got to worry about liquids spilling out. And I mean, if I don't over drip it, it's a clean hit. I get really great flavor. I'm surprised for a top airflow device, but I guess it's not really totally top airflow. The airflow is being channeled down and coming in from the side like most other RDAs, but most other RDAs don't have that channel from the top. It tastes good. It works great. This is a flavor chasing RDA. It's so small. It's similar, I think, to something like a tugboat with a slam cap. My tugboat with a slam cap kind of makes a whistling noise sometimes. This, there's no whistle. It's just a whooshing air sound. So it's a good RDA. 15 quid I paid for it. It's by Cthulhu Mod. They make the Cthulhu RTA, which is really popular. I'm not really into RTAs, so I don't have any comments about that. But this Hastur is a good RDA. That's it. Thanks for watching.